Hi, it's your friend Chris here. I'm here to make a video and raise awareness about a very serious issue. It's a continuation on the silent Holocaust I was talking about in my last video. I need to express that this is my opinion. I don't want anybody charging me with causing a riot or causing an investigation that isn't warranted. So I want to make it very clear from the very beginning that this is my opinion. You can take it or leave it, or you could investigate it and make your own informed decision. And that's what I would suggest anybody do about anything, is investigate it and make your own informed decision. So, having said that this is my opinion, I'll go ahead and get started. We're losing 20 plus veterans a day to suicide. I think it's murder, but they're being called suicides. Some stats are saying 20 a day, some stats are saying 22 a day, let's say 21 veterans a day. That means just about every hour a military service veteran in our country dies because they're placed in a counterterrorism program for no good reason other than that military veterans are usually truth ferrets, and they're also usually patriots, and they make very excellent targets to weed out of a Luciferian order, a Luciferian New World Order that they want to bring about. It seems, this is what it seems like to me, and I think we've got some unsavory elements within our intel agencies that are allowing this to happen. We call them the black hats in this business, and the ones who are opposing them are called the white hats. But they're calling this counterterrorism. And I think what they're terrified, and in a sense it is counterterrorism, because they're terrified that their child trafficking pedo rings will be discovered by patriots and truth ferrets, and they're terrified that their adrenochrome harvesting shenanigans will be uncovered, and so that terrifies them. So in order to counter that terror that they're going to feel when the hammer of true justice lands on them, is what they're combating. That's what the counterterrorism is. They're terrified of ethical patriots finding out that they are trafficking and raping children. Makes sense. So this is, in a sense, a counterterrorism operation. This is done under the guise of threat assessment or counterterrorism, and the dirty work is brokered to the private security agencies. The most notorious is Infragaurd. Infragaurd is financed and handled by the FBI. A person in particular that I need to mention. He may not know anything about this, in all fairness to Paul. But his name is Paul Witchok. Witchok. P-A-U-L, middle initial J, last name V-I-T-C-H-O-C-K. May not be smart for me to call him out, but he might not know anything about this. He might not realize that Infragaurd, that he's coordinating with and allowing money to, he may not realize they're a network of Luciferian pedophiles who are trying to weed out people who are anti-Luciferian pedophiles. Great targets. So we got a mystery going on since 9/11, since we passed the Patriot Act. We got this big mystery, and, I cracked it. I'll pat myself on the back. I solved the mystery, and, if you all want to give me a Nobel Peace Prize, I'll take it, because if I can stop one more death, I will do my best to do that. 21 military service veterans are killing themselves every day. And how do they kill themselves? What is the technique that Infragaurd is using to get our service veterans to kill themselves? A hostile enemy infiltration and takeover of our intel agencies to actually turn our own military veterans into corpses. They got a method for this, and I'm going to just go through the method real quick for you. Here's how it starts. The veteran is offered happy pills to make them feel good, and they take happy pills if they are going through some sort of stress, some sort of PTSD. By the way, we've had soldiers returning from combat, and we've had soldiers getting out of the military for thousands and thousands of years, and we never had any suicide going through the roof like this until we passed the Patriot Act, which allowed intel agencies to use psychotronic weapons on innocent citizens. So that's what's going on here. They Get them psychotropic drugs. I want you to put yourself into the situation of the soldier. He's returning from battle. He's come back to his country to be received, hopefully as a hero and hopefully as a brother citizen. But that's not the reception they're getting in many cases. They're given psychotropic drugs. Then a slander campaign starts. The soldier wants to go on a date, for example. So he's courting a girl, and somebody comes up to her and says, "Oh, we're watching him. We're investigating him for date rape drug. You better watch your drinks around him. He hasn't tried to use the date rape drug on you, has he? We're investigating him because we believe he's using the date rape drug. They'll totally destroy that relationship he has with that girl. This is a tactic to isolate the guy. The guy goes to church to seek refuge. The clergy is informed. That guy's a pedophile. You better watch him around the children. So then the clergyman, the pastor, priest, or rabbi doesn't want them in the congregation. They shun them and push them out. Very successful. They go to the workplace. They'll go to the soldier, the former veteran, or the veteran's employer, and they'll say, we're investigating him because he might go postal, and we think he's going to go postal, so you better watch him. Then the boss isn't going to want him in that work environment. So you've got this soldier totally isolated, or this veteran totally isolated. Then what do they do to him? They bombard him with psychotronic weapons, battlefield noises. This guy's laying in bed and he's hearing battlefield noise and he don't know if it's in his mind. I mean, gunshots. So realistic. He don't know what the hell's going on. If you don't know what V2K is research, it's well documented and well declassed. They're using V2, and in fact, the mainstream media boasted that they used it in Gulf War #1 in '91 against the Iraqi soldiers to get them to go home in their underwear because they thought Allah was telling them to go home in their underwear and walk across the desert and disassemble their weapons. So this technology is not a secret, and it's nothing new by any means. It's been going on for 40 years. This V2K technology. They bombard the poor veteran with battlefield noises while he's trying to hang on to his sanity after being pushed out of every relationship in his world. This is a very successful murder. This is a very successful murder strategy. Just hear me out on this. Then they vandalize the guy's stuff, and then they steal his stuff. Anything that has any value or means something personal to him, they'll cut nicks in it. They'll kick dents in it. They'll tear it up. They'll bust the antenna off. They'll do whatever they need to do. They'll put little snips in all of his fine clothes. They'll put little snips in his car upholstery that he won't notice. Just things to just stress him out. Vandalize his stuff and steal his stuff that isn't really of value worth even reporting in a police report, but something of sentimental value that they know has sentimental value or something that he's cherished. They'll steal it. They go into your house all the time. They do home invasions all the time, and they know where you are. They follow your phone. They know when you're 40 miles away. They know when you're 2 hours from home. They know when they can get away with this. This is a coordinated effort. This is intel. This is the most powerful intelligence apparatus on the planet up against this poor soldier who doesn't know what's going on. He just knows his boss don't want him around. His girls don't want him around. He knows his own family don't want him around. He knows that clergymen don't want him in that congregation. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And he's hearing battlefield noise at night. He thinks he's losing his mind. And then he's being intimidated on the street by thugs. He's being intimidated on the street by thugs and by people trying to run him off the road and sabotage his car. And he can't call the cops. And if he calls the cops, they're going to send over one of their minions, and that cop's going to try to get him institutionalized. This is all a grand, well-orchestrated strategy from a network of Luciferian pedophiles that traffics children and harvests adrenochrome. Heavy stuff. Hope I have my head on in 2 weeks. Can't guarantee I will. But if it brings about change, then it was worth it. Then I did not die in vain, because I am not suicidal and I'm not prone to accidents. And if I'm dead, I need a white hat federal level investigation of my murder, please. Okay. Soldier can't call the cops against vandalism, theft, and intimidation, or he risks being thrown in jail. He's getting V2K battlefield noises. He's being slandered in every church, athletic club, any place he tries to go. And to top it off, if they get him to take psychotropic drugs, this V2K technology is just way more powerful, way more dangerous, or way more persuasive and impulsive if they can get them on drugs while they're using V2K on them. Then they're whispering to him via V2K all night long while he's trying to sleep. He don't know if he's hearing it or if it's in his head, because V2K technology is very stealthy. You can look into V2K technology. They're whispering, nobody wants you alive. Why don't you just kill yourself? Why don't you just shoot yourself? This world would be a better place if you weren't here. Just shoot yourself. Just kill yourself. Just shoot yourself. Just kill yourself. Does FBI agent Paul Witchok know this is going on? I don't think he does. He couldn't know that's going on. He couldn't willfully and wantonly be murdering 20 GIs a day. He couldn't be doing that. It couldn't be going on. Not in our country. Not one of our best and brightest, and not one of our soldiers of the law. He couldn't be murdering 20 of our service members every day. He couldn't be doing that. This couldn't be going on. He's brokering it to Infragaurd, and he probably doesn't have any idea that Infragaurd is a network of Luciferian pedophiles that wants to weed any truth ferrets, and GIs, especially returning combat veterans, are always truth ferrets. They're always looking for the truth. They're always turning the stone. Why did I go to hell over there and get shot up? Why did I see my buddy get shot up? Why do women and children have to die? For what cause? They go turning stones. They discover the network of secret societies and pedophiles and child traffickers and that kind of thing. And it would be easier to weed them out of society, wouldn't it? And it's, plus, if your long-term agenda is to have a new world order, a pedophilic new world order, that's a great people to take out of society. It's these patriots who obviously love their country, who are obviously ethical people, take them out. And that's the strategy they use. I'll just run through it again real quick. They psychotropic drug them. They slander them so they don't fit in any community environment. Get them really good and isolated. Then they V2K battlefield noises onto them. And then they vandalize, steal, and intimidate them. And if they try to report it to the cops, they're going to wind up in the crazy house. And then they V2K them with, you're ugly, you're worthless, nobody wants you here, you should kill yourself, do everybody a favor and kill yourself, everybody wants you dead, everybody hates you. They just need day in and day out, day in and day out. And to women, they just talk filthy about ripping their orifices and just the most vile, heinous, disgusting, nasty, insane, demonic shit you can imagine. They're pumping it into them via V2K, day in and day out, and boom, the soldier's dead. The veteran is dead. Mission accomplished. Look whose name is look what corporations are bonded to that veteran's social security number. Look who's collecting millions and millions of dollars and celebrating when they succeed in getting someone to kill themselves. Because this is a game to them. It's a very profitable game if you've got insurance policies on these people without their knowledge or consent. And you can. In fact, anybody listening to me, in fact, 90% of the people listening to me, I'll put it that way, would be shocked to find out who's bonded to your social security number, who's going to get paid out when you die. You'd be shocked. The older you get, the less chance. They're not really interested. Policies aren't. The older you get, the less valuable the policies are. We need a task force. We need a task force, President Trump. We need a task force organized and dispatched to correct this problem. This murder of our soldiers, this murder of our veterans. We've had 140,000, somewhere between 100 and 140,000 veterans murdered since the Patriot Act was passed, since these psychotronic weapons became legally used on Americans. We've had 100 to 140,000 U.S. military service veterans murdered in this operation and taken out of society, and then they no longer need to pay them benefits. It's a perfect scheme for a Luciferian pedophile because they're no longer going to work against your New World Order. They're no longer going to get benefits from your coffers. And they're no longer going to have a voice. You've conveniently disposed, they're called disposable heroes. We need a task force to take them out, Mr. President. We need a task force to take these scumbags out who are doing this. I don't think it's our agents. I hope that our FBI agents wouldn't be involved in this. I hope that Paul Witchok is not involved in this. I hope that he's not. I don't think he is. I think he's contracting the work to Infragaurd, and Infragaurd does the dirty work. They vandalize, they intimidate, they break and enter, they use psychotronic weapons on you. They do dirty work. They try to run you off the road. If they can't get you to kill yourself, they'll move in to try to run you off the road and give you an accident. They've got a lot. They've been investing $30-40 a month on your policies. They want their $1 million paycheck, and they want to quit paying these policies. So what it boils down to, I know this sounds science fiction and unbelievable, but you're up against Luciferian pedophile adrenochrome junkies, okay? We need a task force for them, Mr. President, and we need a monument, something like what they built for the Vietnam veterans. We need a monument built to the 140,000 U.S. service member veterans who were murdered by this program. And we need this program stopped. And we need it stopped now. I'm going to go ahead and remind you that 20 to 22 U.S. service member are service member veterans, military service member veterans are killing themselves every day. And it's not a mystery why. I know why. And anybody with a shred of credibility or honesty can examine what I'm talking about, investigate it, and agree with me wholeheartedly. Or they can deny it because they've got something to hide. We need to stop this mass murder. My brother was murdered by this program. And they tried to murder me with this program. And I'm not going to stand still for it and watch you murder 20 military service member brothers and sisters of mine a day. I'm not going to stand by and not say anything. You want to murder me for that? You want to try to build a case against me and have me thrown in jail for coming to the defense of my brothers and sisters, my military comrades? Go ahead. Do your worst. But I did what was right by God. I did what was right by my country. And I did not stand by and watch them murder 20 U.S. military service members, veterans, every day. I've defined counterterrorism for you. The counterterrorism that they're funding $500 million in the state of Florida. $500 million in the state of Florida. They're funding $500 million in the state of Florida a year to go after people and get them killed, to get them off, to get them suicided. This is what's going on. This is what your tax dollars are being used. So you can go to sleep tonight knowing that your tax dollars helped to murder 20 U.S. Military service veterans today, and that help traffic children. I know the swamp's getting drained. I know a lot of these people are on the run. I know our president, our commander-in-chief, is doing his best, and it's amazing. And you might watch the news and think he's got nobody's respect. He's got the respect of 80% of the world. They're respectful of our president, and they're proud of him, and I couldn't be prouder. I've never had a commander-in-chief in my life that I've been more proud of. Thank you, President Trump. And I implore you to initiate a task force against this. I implore you to create a monument for these soldiers who are murdered. There are service members. They deserve the recognition. And I ask you, people, to please pray that this program will come to an end. I ask you to reach out to FBI coordinator Paul J. Witchok. I'm going to leave his email address down there at the FBI, who's coordinating this. Counterterrorism program with Infragaurd, probably unaware that Infragaurd is a network of Luciferian pedophile murderers. And that's exactly what they're doing. And this is all my opinion, and you can take it or leave it. But I ask you to investigate it, and I ask you to hear me. And I ask you, Mr. President Trump, to please investigate this matter. Please send a task force to stop this murder. 20 military service members a day are dying. It's gone on long enough. We're talking about 100,000 innocent men and women who are murdered, and they served our country. They're not disposable heroes. We love them, and we need to honor their service. We don't need to torture them to death because they've been tortured to death. And it needs a monument. It needs a monument in D.C. It needs a wall like the Vietnam Veterans Wall, and they etch every name of every person who committed suicide since 9/11, since the Patriot Act was passed, since this psychotronic warfare against veterans and whistleblowers and truthers has been launched against our society. That's what I got to say. I would appreciate it if you follow me on Facebook. I remember I asked a bunch of people to friend me on Facebook in my last video. I meant to say follow me. If you could follow me on Facebook, that's kind of more important. I've got more information coming out, a lot more information. And I ask you to pray about this, and I ask you to research it, and I ask you to pray for the victims of this program that are in it right now. It's horrific. It's a torture. It's a slow torture to death. And 100,000 U.S. service members have already been tortured to death. And I will leave a contact President Trump, email President Trump, or tweet him, or contact President Trump about this. Investigate it. Contact the FBI coordinator who's coordinating with Infragaurd. He's probably unaware that Infragaurd is a network of baby raping, child trafficking, adrenochrome harvesting pedophiles that are murderers. I mean, they're murdering 20 vets a day, in my opinion. We can't stand that. We can't stand for that. We're America. We can't let that communist take over, that Luciferian pedophile network take us over. We got to move. God bless you.